Are eggs good for weight loss? In today's video, you are going to find out the answers. Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. Jay Stewart here, the Better Body Coach, and I help everyday men get back in shape. And today I'm going to help answer the question, eggs, are they good for weight loss? And I've got to tell you, I'm very biased because eggs are undoubtedly one of my favorite foods. If you could give me the challenge of eating just one food for the rest of my life, it would probably be eggs. They're so versatile, whether we are having them solo on our toast, boiled, fried, scrambled, baked, or we're adding them into a recipe. They are so versatile, and that's really one of the reasons why they're referred to as the perfect protein. So let's get to answering the question. And we're going to start at the start. Now, if you've listened to any of my stuff before, you know that what I like to do is make things simple. So when it comes to weight management or weight loss, what we're trying to do is manage our calories. I am a huge believer, a person that supports the idea that's all about calorie balance. And you can follow different diets, but anything that works because it achieves a calorie deficit, and you need to keep that at your front of mind. What the great thing about eggs is that they're naturally low in calories. So each egg contains about 75 calories, and we're just going to use some simple maths to sort of put out what that means. If you were to take 2 eggs, you're getting 2 times 75 calories, that's 150 calories. And when you think about the fact that we need somewhere around 2,500 calories a day as men to actually maintain weight, generally speaking, that's a drop in the ocean. 150 calories out of, say, 2,500 calories. So by having, eggs in your diet, you're leaving yourself a lot of wiggle room of where you can make other concessions elsewhere. Give yourself a little bit of slack, I guess is the way to put it. Now, if you look at the breakdown of the egg, only 20 calories of that 75 calories is found in the white. The big portion is found in the yolk. So if you really loved eggs and you were wanting to kind of up your protein intake, but maintain, a lower calorie, eating plan because you're trying to lose weight, what you could actually do is say go up to 4 eggs. And naturally, if you just took 2 eggs, which were full, whole eggs, so that'd be 150 calories, and you added in another 2 eggs, but just the egg whites, you'd only actually be adding in another 40 calories. So that's how low in calories eggs are just naturally, making them a perfect food to support your weight loss effort because they're not going to load in a bunch of empty calories. The other cool thing about this to note is that each egg contains 7 grams of protein, and the majority of that protein is found in the actual egg white. And this is huge. This is really, really good. So in terms of, this is why you'll find a lot of people that are looking to put on, muscle mass will advocate for eggs and egg whites because the ratio of protein to calories is very, very high. Now, you can use this as someone who's wanting to lose weight to your advantage. And the reason why is this. Point 2, eggs are very filling. They rank very, very high on the satiety index. Satiety just means your feeling of fullness. So after you eat an egg-based meal, what you'll find is that you're gonna be fuller for longer. And that comes down to, our favorite macronutrient, which is protein. Protein foods essentially take longer, generally speaking, to break down than fat or carbohydrate-based foods. So they contribute to a feeling of fullness for longer. So if you're eating, 2 or 3 eggs at a meal, not only are you getting the bang for the buck in terms of the low calorie side, you're also going to be feeling fuller for longer. And this is really part of the whole challenge of weight loss, isn't it? It's that you find yourself going through these cravings if you're eating or just trying to omit food. Whereas if you replace the really refined foods in your diet with foods that keep you fuller for longer, that are taking longer to break down, then you're going to have less appetite to want to, binge eat later on down the track. So we're going to move on to the third point of why weight loss is really supported by eating an egg-based diet, and that is the thermic effect of food. So what you'll actually find is, in addition to keeping you feeling fuller for longer, protein foods like protein found in eggs actually take more energy to break down than highly fat or highly carbohydrate foods. This is called, forget the jargon, it's called the thermic effect of food, and what it basically just means is to break down foods that are high in protein to use them as energy takes energy. And we're not talking about, huge amounts, but over the course of a day, it's about 10% of your total spend of calories in a day is based on burning food. And that's going to be higher if you've got a pretty high protein diet. So, fourth benefit, breakfast and lunch, you're talking cheap and easy food source. I mean, think of all the different ways you could use eggs. And one of my big things to do is to pre-boil eggs and use them in a salad. So as opposed to, let's just say, a salad that contains, greens and it's kind of bland and boring, maybe a little bit of chicken, what you do is throw a couple of eggs on top, and what that gives you is that added satiety, that added feeling of fullness for longer due to basically the protein content of those eggs. And remembering, they're also low in calories. So one of the big things that comes out of chats about eggs, it's like the theme that continues to happen, and that is cholesterol. But what about the cholesterol? So I want to introduce something really importantly to you and explain that it's not dietary cholesterol which necessarily causes high blood cholesterol. So you would have heard of recommendations, particularly going back to sort of, from the 1900s, of eggs equals higher cholesterol levels. The way that cholesterol is actually looked at is wrong. Cholesterol is a very, very important thing to have in your body. Basically, it contributes to cell communication, it contributes to the structure of cells, and without cholesterol, we wouldn't be able to, operate. And take, for example, testosterone. The hormone testosterone is built from the base molecule of cholesterol. So cholesterol is not bad. The wrong type of cholesterol in large amounts can be bad and can contribute to heart disease. But to equate dietary cholesterol, such as that found in an egg, with high blood cholesterol is incorrect. In fact, most of the science supports that your LDL, or your bad cholesterol, is actually reduced when you include eggs in your diet, and the high density cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol, actually improves when you include eggs in your diet. So most of the studies have been around eating 3 eggs per day, and there hasn't been much that's looked at eating 4 and 5 eggs per day. So my recommendation would certainly be based around eating 3 eggs per day, if as a maximum amount you want to do that. So let's go over to the other benefits of eggs. So we're talking about this in the guise of weight loss benefits, but in addition, there's 4 huge benefits. Every single egg contains trace amounts of nearly every vitamin and mineral you can find. And when you think about the reason that could be, have a think about it. Eggs are what give rise to baby chickens, so they've got to be in a somewhat complete form. So in that little guy, you're going to find bursting with nutrients. One of these nutrients is called choline, and this is really, really important for both brain health and the overall health of the nervous system. It's actually a communication chemical, and it's really, really important, particularly during pregnancy, to actually up your choline levels. It's naturally high in antioxidants, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the names of these antioxidants and scare you by that, but basically they really help in the development and protection of the eyes and making sure that you can see long into older age. And then the last benefit, the amino acid profile. You might have heard of the concept of eggs being a perfect protein. This is based on the amino acid profile. So all proteins is balls of little amino acids put together in big linked long chains. And in eggs, the profile that you find is absolutely perfect. There's no better. So plenty of health benefits to go with the fact that eggs are very, very supportive of a weight loss effort. So let's just finish off with a point on recommendations, the amounts and the types. So as I said, all of the science has been around, or the studies has been around 3 eggs per day. So my recommendations are that you're not eating more than 3 eggs per day. So if on a few mornings a week or lunches for a week, for me, I probably do it, say, 4 to 5 days per week. I have eggs, usually boiled with maybe some whole grain muffins or something along those lines, maybe some avocado smeared on top. And that's perfect to basically support weight loss efforts and to fill you up for longer. So you're all of a sudden going to be looking very, very good in terms of moving towards a weight loss diet. And the other thing is to consider the types of eggs that you're actually using. So you'll see a lot of different labels. You're gonna have, caged eggs, you're gonna have free range eggs, you're gonna have organic eggs, you're gonna have omega-3 fortified eggs, you're going to have pasteurized eggs. Look, it's probably worth a video in itself to actually go into the details of that. But generally speaking, the more expensive eggs are the better ones for you. And we've got to look at this from really 2 angles. We've got to look at this from the welfare of the actual chicken and the conditions of which they're raised in, and the actual quality of the nutrition inside the egg. What all of the analysis shows is that the more expensive eggs, those that are pasture raised, meaning they're running around on little grass fields, eating insects and the like, their natural habitat, these always transpire to being the best in terms of how the egg ranks for nutrition, both in the micronutrients, the protein amounts, always the same. So really, I think what you want to be doing is buying the most expensive eggs you can afford, which are going to be pasture raised and omega-3 and organic eggs. And as you, I guess, your budget, declines, you start to, I guess, realize that caged eggs might be your only option. And if that is the case, just try to find something that's a little bit more, sustainable in terms of the way the actual chickens are raised. Do they get partial light? So investigate a little bit into the background of your eggs. So hopefully that was not too complicated. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, please do so. I'd really love to have your support. And if you've got any questions, I would love to be able to answer them in the comments. I will see you in the next video.